Hello,
Hello.
how are
Can
you?
you hear me? All right. I'm
Yeah,
like
I
camped
can
out in
hear
the back
you.
of. I'm fine. How are you? You all right?
I'm
Good.
good,
Great.
thank you. Hopefully this works.
The wife keeps panning and stuff, so fingers crossed it works. So
We can try. If not, it might also be easier to go without video, and it might be easier just to have audio, but we can see what it's like.
could do. Hang on. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. That's better.
Well, why don't we try with me asking you some questions if you're okay, and then I can basically just let you
Yeah.
speak, and hopefully that'll be easier. Thanks for doing this today, by the way.
Fingers crossed. No problem. No.
Awesome. So we'll start off with kind of just an introduction. So basically, your name, your location, what you do for a living, and an interesting fun fact about yourself.
Right, so my name's Anita or Annie. I get called either or. I'm based in Yorkshire, although I'm from down south, and I relocated 18 years ago into my job. I've been here for 22 years. And last year I made a career change and I'm now a head of living history at a museum just outside York. In terms of a fun fact about myself, I kind of could be classified as a professional Viking, which sounds random and weird, but I do Viking reenactment. And now with my job as living history, I basically head up a team on a Viking village that kids come and enjoy an immersive experience at. So you could say I'm a professional Viking. So
That is a really, really cool thing to be able to say.
and
That's
very
amazing.
random.
And
So yeah.
you've got kids, right? Do they get involved with this too?
Yeah, yeah, they come Viking reenactment as well. They do all the combat training, so they're training to fight with swords and axes and shields, like mum is now. So yeah,
Oh,
so we're having little wee Vikings running all over the place at some point. So yeah,
that's so cool. Have you ever been
yeah.
involved in filming or anything like that? Or is this just
Yeah, I've done a few things. I've done a few things like on TV and stuff. Yeah, so
that's
yeah,
amazing.
much to my kids' embarrassment sometimes, but hey,
No, not I love that. I think it's ace. I love that kind of thing. When I was younger, I was just obsessed with that kind of thing. So
yeah,
but
yes,
awesome.
yeah,
Ace. So the next question is,
yeah.
how long have you been into dipping or swimming?
Yeah, so basically, I've kind of always been drawn to waterfalls. I was classified as a waterfall chaser. And I'd like, whenever we go on holiday, like when we went to the Isle of Skye, I went to the fairy pools and things like that. And my parents live close to the sea. So it's always kind of been on the periphery, but it hasn't really been the be all and end all. Does that make sense? It's always been something I've kind of gone along and done, but it's not driven by anything. And that's been like about 3 years. But it wasn't until like this time last year that really I started to go out there and make it more of a regular thing. Part of that, Llewellyn, who is he's part of a group that I like kind of hang out with. I started doing weekly evening dips with those, and that's really took me out of my comfort zone. So it's probably been about a year now, really, when I'm regularly been dipping.
Awesome. And why do you think you felt that you wanted to keep this going up as a hobby? Like obviously a lot of people have tried over the last couple of years. Um,
Yeah.
what's the is there like a real big reason why you continue to keep going? Like I think everyone has
Magic
reasons.
formula.
I missed that.
Yeah, I mean, I think sense community, big network of friends that I can get with and stuff. Also, like exploring different areas of the country that I probably wouldn't have seen beforehand. And then I never really thought I was a particularly stressful person, but obviously. I kind of noticed, I started to notice that when I hadn't gone for a dip, I started to get a bit tetchy, if that makes sense. And when I took a step back, looking at my job, working full time, having the 3 kids on my own, the Viking app, that was kind of made me have my own me time. And water. I always was quite skeptical about it. I was like, oh, it's one of them fads that everybody kind of goes through. But actually, having kind of been like a recreational dipper to now actually being, having, I don't know what happened there. Can you hear me now? Is that okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know what happened. It just went. I was like, what? So yeah. So mid spiel, yeah, kind of like so yeah. So basically, I did feel when I go dipping, I did feel totally different. So yeah, I've made it a regular thing.
Good. It sounds like it's been a positive change in your life that I think for a lot of people, they, like you said, it's almost like a fad or
Yeah,
people oh, it's just a fad, I'll just do it once or twice and that will be it. But
Yeah,
actually, when you
yeah,
find
yeah,
how it affects you as a person, it can actually be really life-changing.
yeah.
And that might sound really kind of over exaggerated, but it's 100% not. Like, it does change people's.
No, yeah, I totally concur with it. Absolutely, I do. I'm even my kids have noticed I'm more zen as a result of it. So like, if they're noticing it, it's definitely it's definitely doing the thing. If that makes sense.
And it's also that understanding that not everyone will have the same reasons. Like,
No.
you may have the same reason as somebody else, but it might be completely different for another person. And it's kind
Yeah,
of just respecting that as well and going, like,
yeah,
we're all humans.
yeah,
We're all going to enjoy it for different reasons, but
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like with Lou and everything, you
yeah,
appreciate when there are people there because it's like you have
yeah,
people who are maybe there for different reasons, but you have a
yeah,
awareness that of the fact that you're
yeah.
in the water together, you know?
That common ground. I mean, like we went to Lake District for a weekend away, and there was
Yeah,
like 9 of us. And on paper, if you probably threw those 9 people together, people go, "Well, what the heck?" That all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different interests, all different things. And on paper, you'd probably go, "No, no way, that's not going to work." But it works. It works. And like you said, anyone can come from a different reason, a different background, but that commonality of wanting to go, explore the countryside, go with waterfall chasing, or go dipping. It's that common theme, and it works. So yeah.
and it's also, I guess, for some people, maybe not all the time, because some people do like going on their own, but it's almost like you have a safety net of people there as well.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's just
like a network there. Yeah,
and I don't
yeah,
know if it's the same with you. Like sometimes if I go out into the cold water, if I go myself, it's quite difficult to go in. But as soon as there's other people, I'm like, nope, I'm going in. It's
yeah.
just
No, it kind of, yeah, it is like, I think it's quite good that my kids, my daughter specifically, if I go down to my mom's, she'll go, "Oh, can I come down the beach with you?" And it's just nice it motivates me. I'm thinking, well, hang on, mum here has got to go in because she wants to go in. It's like, and although she won't come in properly,
yeah,
it kind of spurs you on, and it makes you, yeah, I totally agree with you. Sometimes you think, oh, actually I don't really fancy it today, but it makes you, when you're stood there at 5:30 and it's
yeah.
freezing cold, and but then you see the beautiful sunrise, you're like, actually it was worth it. It's like anything, isn't it? Once you get out and do it, it's worth it.
Sometimes it's getting in that's the hardest, but once you're in, you
Yeah,
realize. So
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So the next question is, you did the Seashell Dip a Day challenge, didn't you?
Hmm. Hmm.
How did you find out about that? Was it just on social media?
Basically, it's via social media. I follow you guys on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And then Llewellyn, he kind of dips daily anyway. I've
Yeah,
always been kind of like, I've been like, oh, I'd like to do that. And then I've always like discounted, thinking, well, actually, it's not possible. My life's too busy. And actually having that challenge was like, well, actually, no, I'm going to take this. And I'm one of these kind of people that if I do a challenge, I want to do it. If you give me a challenge or a target, I would do it. And when you guys said, oh, we're going to do that, I was like, actually, yeah. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give myself, see if I can actually do it, and I did. So yeah.
and what was your reason why to do it? Because I guess everyone again has a different.
I think obviously the effects of having that weekly dip, off to waterfalls and things like that. It was like exploring new avenues of getting kind of that cold fix, dare I say it, and actually proving to myself I can probably fit in a daily dip, if that makes sense. And I could get the benefits of going for that swim or meeting up with my friends or going to waterfall daily, as opposed to like the weekly that I'd been doing. And it kind of was like an excuse not to give any excuses and not to do it, if that makes sense. Because I had that like, well, no, I need to do it. I need to do it. I need to post it on. I mean, I'm not like a social media, like do a thing for likes and things like that. But it was like, well, actually, no, I've got to do it. I'm accountable. There's that accountability there, and it was that motivational kind of thing to kick me up the backside to do it and make me do it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And I think also because there were a lot of other people doing it as well, even though you maybe didn't
Mm.
follow them on social media. Again, it's like this bigger collective of
Yeah, yeah,
together, which is actually quite nice.
yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
totally right. It's like I'm going to do this. And then
Hmm.
I know that for me personally, after you've done something like that, you realize, well, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Yeah, and actually, as a result of it, I dip either daily or have last resort I have a cold shower, but it has actually changed changed my like daily routine. The cold water thing is part of my daily routine. I've proved I can do it for 30 days. You know, if I can do it for 30 days consistently without a break, there's no excuse, you know, not to. Like, I'm away at a camper van festival, and there's a river, and I'm going in the river like every morning or in the evening. So, you know, I'm constantly now looking out for kind of avenues to do that, because I proved to myself that I could be consistent over 30 days. So yeah.
It's amazing. It's so awesome to hear. So honestly, well done for doing it, because it does, it takes a lot.
But the kids now, I mean, the kids even started joining on it as well. So now the kids, I mean, they don't do it daily, but doing the, I think halfway through, they're like, oh, can I do it? And they started doing it with me. So they did 15 days. But actually, that's kind of like, they don't do it daily, but they will now. If I go, oh, I'm going here, like, oh, can I come along? So it's kind of changed their life habits and things like that too. And they're like bought into it as well. So
It's amazing, because I wasn't necessarily grown up, or I didn't grow up with that around me, and my parents weren't doing that. They were doing lots of
yeah,
as well. So I mean, I've
yeah,
done a lot of things from when I was young, but
yeah,
they didn't have that. Whereas I think it's really
yeah,
important nowadays to have that. So if we can inspire the younger generation, then that's
yeah.
um
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely did. I mean, sometimes when they watch Lou jumping off, I'm like, oh, please don't copy that. Like, kind of thing with his thing. But like, you know, it does inspire them, and if we can inspire them, and like, you know, like you said, it's the younger generation coming through having that appreciation. It's all good, isn't it? So
100%. 100%. So how did you find it physically and mentally during the challenge? Did you find it difficult during like the mid part of it, or did you find that it was a
no,
breeze? Were you
I
surprised?
kind of found it was a breeze, if that makes sense. I think because the benefits I was getting from it and how I was feeling, I didn't find it. I found mentally it wasn't draining. You know, no, I found it quite a breeze really, because I think I was motivated to do it,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
100%. Which is
Um,
great.
yeah, and I think also, like you said, seeing everybody else do it, it drives you to do it. It's like, you know, that day when you're thinking, oh, actually, it's a bit cold, I don't want to do it, and you've seen someone else totally boss it, you're like, well, actually, no, there's no excuses, and I can do this, and I'll get on with it. So yeah. But
Exactly.
generally, no, I was quite positive. You know, I think I'm one of these people though. If you give me a challenge, I'm a bit stubborn. I'll get on with it. Like, and I want to prove to people that I can.
Yeah, which is ace. Awesome. So that goes on to the kind of next point, which is your location. Like, where did you do all the dips? Because I presume that probably also helped with the motivation as well. Like, there were a lot of people who couldn't get out to nature and ended up doing it in their baths or their showers, which became, I think, mentally hard for them. So where did you do it? Or
Yeah,
did you have an array of locations that you went to?
I did it all over the place. I got around though. So I basically, my parents, when I went down to my parents, I went in the sea. I joined some of the others like Lou and that, dipping at reservoirs, waterfalls, and stuff like that. I also purchased, and it arrived in time, thank goodness, a pod similar to what the guys at Seashell were using. So I kind of, was one day I had to have a call, but other than that, I was really lucky actually to be able to go to different places. And as a result of it, I actually found a water spot that was like 10, 15 minutes like walk away from where I live, which I've discounted. But I joined a few other people as a result of the dip challenge there. So it's kind of, it opened my horizons locally as well, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, I was quite lucky. And the day the day I had to use a cold shower wasn't the greatest, but it's the same thing. It got the job done. So.
Yeah, amazing. And it's you're totally right in saying that. I think it's easy for us to kind of get complacent, if that's the right word to use, of like where we live, and to think that we have to travel
Mm-hmm.
all these different
Yeah,
places. And actually, sorry, my
yeah.
mom's it
No.
there's beautiful places where we live, and there are so many things out on our doorstep. It's quite often just taking the time to
Yeah,
just find them and see them for what they are, and actually go, do you know what?
yeah,
This is here. This is awesome,
yeah.
which is ace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought nothing before it. I thought nothing. I regularly dipped. Like, I mean, when Lou and everyone, and Sarah and Vic and all that lot are, that's like an hour away from me. Like, it's become a joke that like I go trailing off to all these places. Because, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm 15 minutes down the road. It's like, oh, she's an hour away, and it's just become like a bit of a laughable joke. It's like, where's that from you? Oh, it's an hour. Where's that from you? It's an hour. Like, but the thing is, and I travel there because the people kind of, they say you find your tribe and with the same vibe. They've got the same vibe as me, and it was so comfortable and stuff like that. But now, like you said, the dip thing, I've met people closer. So I've got like kind of, I'm quite lucky really and quite spoilt that I've got those guys I can go and travel to. But also, if I haven't got the time, I've now got a dip in and a group of people that I can dip on my doorstep as well. So yeah,
Perfect then.
kind of spoilt really.
Sure that will continue to grow. You'll go to other places and you'll find even more people that will, be part of your tribe. And I think that's what it's all about. It's again,
Yeah,
that's the word
yeah,
community that comes up. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so now I'm
Yeah.
coming to Seashell a little bit. Out of the kit that you've got, what's your favorite piece and why?
Well, you see, the thing is, this is really difficult because I would have said, hands down, my toweling robe. That has been the best piece of kit ever. Like, it doesn't matter. It's so absorbent. It's so comfortable. It's so warm. But however, there's a real like toss up between that and the bag. I'd raved about this. I used to have a triathlon transition bag, and it's like, oh look, it's got all these compartments, and then it's got this little zippy compartment at the bottom. You can put all your wet stuff in. But it's great. But like, as I realised when I was at the lakes, I'm like jumping on stones and things, and it's so big, it actually goes over my head and was like pulling me over and things like that. So I went and bought one of the seashell bags, the dry bags, and that's just amazing. And in fact, yeah, my daughter, she got one she wanted one for her birthday, so we got her one for her
Yeah,
birthday. And
great.
it's a really versatile piece of kit. Like, I looked at it, was like 25 litres, and actually it's like a TARDIS. You can fit loads of things in. All the pockets are great. Like, you can put your keys, it's a great bit of kit. So it's a very fine line between the toweling mode, which I absolutely love and adore, and that just like lives with me wherever I go, and but now the bag. So it's that between them two, I'm afraid. I can't
Well,
really,
if you've got them
for
both
different
together,
reasons.
that's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect exactly. So, you can even use it like, camping and stuff like that. If you go to the shower, it's so versatile, that robe,
I
and the
wear
bag
my
is too. So,
I wear my robe whenever I come out of the shower as well, and then my bag I
yeah,
take with me. Um,
yeah,
it's like Mary Poppins bag. Like you don't expect it to be,
yeah,
and then you're like,
yeah.
where
When you look at it, like, yeah,
pop it?
25 liters, I'll never fit anything in there. And then like, it's just like, oh, hang on, this fits in, that fits in, this fits in, that fits in. And like, Millie takes it to school, and all her friends are like, oh my god, that bag's amazing. And she's like, yeah, I know. Like, and she takes her PE kit in, and like all in it, and her folders and stuff. So yeah, but even like the toweling robe's Mrs. Hinch approved, isn't it? So it's all good. So if Mrs. Hinch is good enough for Mrs. Hinch, it's good enough for everybody else, isn't it? So
Exactly, I know.
no glasses, she probably doesn't even know like what it's actually used for. But anyway,
No, just doing her makeup.
yeah, no, I was like, okay, anyway.
If anyone's using it for anything, it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next question I've got is, what did you learn whilst you were doing the challenge? That could be about yourself, or it could be about anyone else, or like literally anything. What did you learn?
That doing stuff, I think the kids getting involved, doing stuff as a family, and having like that kind of love of stuff really works. So it's like, try and get your friends and things on board with it. And even some of my friends started dipping as a result of it. And then actually don't make excuses. Like, go out there and try it. And you miss a day, but like, you miss that day. It's like a diet and thing. Like, that day you're like, oh, I've had a biscuit, just carry on troughing everything else. No, but it's like, if you just mess up, you don't go for one day, it's fine. Just pick it up again the next day. But believe in yourself that you can actually do things.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a really important message as well. I think so many people
Mm.
nowadays don't go and try things because they're scared that they're going to fail,
Yeah,
whatever that might be. But it's
yeah,
understanding there isn't really anything, I don't think there's any such thing as failing, because each day is a
no,
different opportunity to go and try something. And it might feel like you're failing one day by
yeah,
not doing it, but that's fine. You reset and you go the next day and you learn
yeah,
something new. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lesson. Go and
But
keep.
also by doing it, the 2 days prior to it, you've proved, you've taken those steps so far. One day is not going to discount those 3 or 4 days you did it previously. It's a journey, and every step that you take, every dip you take, is on that journey. And if you get, any journey gets a tangent or gets a reroute and things like that, but it's important to stick back on it and just try again. So
100%. And you may feel like this as well, but what I find is that every dip that you go and do, or whether you go and do a swim, they're always different. For me anyway, like mentally,
mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, yeah,
we'll go one day and be like, oh, it's the same temperature as yesterday, so it'll be the same. And you go in and you're like, oh, it feels very different for
mm.
some reason. And there's
Yeah.
every day it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's really good fun in that sense as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you take something, even if you go to the same place, like that place on my doorstep, I go there, and every time I've been there, it has been totally, totally different, like temperature, how I feel, how invigorating it is, if I've been chased by a swan or not. There's different, there's a different element or a different change every time I've gone there. But like you said, it can be the same place, but every dip you take, you can take something different away from it,
Exactly. It's kind of like a
be
mic
it physically or mentally.
yeah, a little micro adventure
Yeah,
physically and mentally each day just to kind of reset.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And I think it's a great thing.
Definitely. How important do you think it is that we look at our mental health in regards to dipping and
Yeah,
also community and a community side of things in regards to our mental health?
yeah. I mean, I think mental health is something that's very, very dear to me and very close to me. I mean, I'd lost my dad at a very young age, to suicide. So, and I don't think male mental health and things like that was as prolific, was well known and things when he passed away. So I'm very much kind of like, it's very close to my heart, mental health, and I will check in on people. And I think, the cold water dipping and stuff, I've seen it turn people's mental health and well-being around. And the camaraderie there. There's people in groups that I've been in that have gone quiet, and and everyone's rallied around checking in on people and things like that. So it, the physical kind of the actual dipping and the effects it has on mental health. I'm an advocate of, like I said, I was skeptical about it, but I know my own mental health, health and well-being is far better because of it. And I know that the people in the various different groups I'm part of is the same. They know when they've not gone, they know a difference. But like you said, it's that having that kind of support network, that will drag you out to make you go dipping or to check on you when you go quiet and stuff like that. And I think you I think you do find it in sport, but I think I found it far a far better network and community in the cold water dipping thing than I had like in the various different avenues of sport that I've undertook, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's also probably because when we're in cold water, we're in our swimming costumes or we're in our clothes and we're getting wet. It's a very it's
mm,
different to do, you're kind of vulnerable
yeah,
in many different ways.
yes, totally, yeah,
It's something that's I don't know, it's just different to what humans have been doing for however many years, and which is a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
It just allows
yeah,
people
yeah,
to go, do you know what? I'm being vulnerable, you're being vulnerable. Let's speak
mm-hmm,
about how
mm-hmm,
we feel. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
opening up a space for conversation. And I think that's so
yeah,
important.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, completely,
in females and males and kids, everyone.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
keep doing that through our little group,
yeah,
then that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Like we were
completely,
saying at the beginning,
and
you
it
must
kind of,
have anything in common, but if you can at least speak to each other and ask how you're doing,
yeah,
that can
yeah,
have such a massive impact on
yeah,
somebody.
just that checking in. How you doing today? You all right? Things like that, and it kind of removes any kind of barriers or people's guard. Like you said, everyone's in the same. Like no matter where you come from, you're in that water. You're in the same space. You're undertaking the same thing. Anyone who's got those walls built up, it kind of takes a couple of bricks away from the layer, if that makes sense. And you open up that discussion and you start chatting and stuff. No, yeah, I definitely see it as a positive on
And I
so many
think
different levels.
definitely, and I think also when it comes to being in the water as well, to add to this, I don't know if you found this either. People generally who are into dipping, what I find,
Yeah,
don't care about what you look like. And
no,
at the
no,
end of the day, you realize that we're all human. It doesn't
yeah,
matter what you're wearing, whether you're wearing a
yeah,
wetsuit, whether you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt, whether you're wearing a bikini.
mm-hmm,
Like it doesn't matter because at the end of the day,
yeah,
we understand that we are there to better ourselves mentally and physically,
yeah,
and we
yeah,
are we are human. And I think
yeah,
that is a really nice thing as well. So it also breaks down
yeah,
those layers, like you said, those bricks, so that
yeah,
people are more open. And that's what I
yeah,
love about it, is
yeah,
anyone can take,
yeah,
anyone can be
yeah.
themselves. Nobody cares what you
Mm-hmm,
look like,
mm-hmm.
they just care that you're
No,
okay.
and who cares what you're wearing on that. It's the fact that you're all there and everyone's on a level playing field. That
Yeah.
that is that you know, everyone is on a level playing. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. You know, if you've got all the gear, that's fine. If you haven't, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you're there for that common ground. You're all there to dip and take from it what you can.
100%.
So
And last one.
okay.
Um, what advice would you give to somebody that's maybe looking to start dipping for the first time, that maybe isn't quite sure and wants to give it a go?
Just do it. Just do it. Dip your toe, dare I say it. Just do it. Just do it. I enjoyed going, dipping, every now and then. But just go and do it. Just, push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you will get so much from it. Don't put up those barriers. If you want to do it, go and do it. Make sure that you do it. And if you are feeling a bit like, oh, actually, I don't want to go and stuff like this, take a friend with you.
Yeah.
Or go and join a Facebook group. There's loads of groups out there that go swimming, and then at least you kind of, if you're kind of shy, message the group, and then just, oh hi, I'm thinking of doing it. And people are so lovely. They're so lovely. I've not met one person that's not been lovely at all. Everyone's welcoming, and I've we've gone away to Largs on holiday in Scotland, and via a Facebook group, me and my partner, we ended up going to tea with them. Everyone's so welcoming, because it's a level playing field. Everyone is there for the same reason. So yeah.
Just go and do it, because I think I know so many people that haven't done it, and they've then done it however time afterwards, and then they go, why didn't I do this earlier? Because it is really daunting to begin with. But it's like, you kind of need someone to just go, just like,
I have all these.
Do it.
I mean, I think that's a lot of everyone goes to me, oh my God, I see all you had. I post on social media and Facebook, and it's not to go, oh, look at what I'm doing. It's to like, look, I can do it. Just, don't make excuses. I've got a full-time job. I've got the kids. I do this, I do that, and I make time to do it. It's almost like an advocate to say, look, you can do this. Just go and do it. And people are like, oh, I wish I could do it. And there's a few people, because of the Facebook things, oh, I wish I could do it. I went, well, come along with me. I went, right, like my partner's best friend's like, oh, I really want to do it. And I'm like, right, come on, I'm Janet's boss. This time we're going, come on. Yeah. And it's like, it's, made them do it as well. So, but no, definitely worth it. It's worth it. Take that first step, join a group, message. Everyone is so friendly, welcoming. They give you advice on what to wear, what to buy, so yeah.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, is inspiring people. So yeah, and thank you so much for doing this today, and thank you for doing what
no problem
and doing apologetically as yourself, because you will be inspiring so many people than you probably know. So keep it up, keep being your
fingers crossed.
I'll
try. Anyway, right, cool. I better go before things out. Anyway, lovely to speak to you.
Thank you
and
so
enjoy
much.
your travel.
Thank you.
No problems. You take care. Take care. Bye.